Hello, welcome to WAF Wednesdays. This week I thought I would talk about worst debut album ever since it turned 15 years old a little while ago. It's got 12 songs on it, recorded, mixed and mastered and produced by Mike Thompson at the Ivory Tower in Houston, Texas. Mike Thompson has gotten out of the music game a while ago, I think. He is enjoying a much more lucrative career these days, which is very understandable. This came out in 2009, and I remember I originally wanted to self-release it in 2010. Of course, we sped up the release of this because I joined forces with Redbird Records and Touring, which was kind of like the imprint of a label for this band called Ludo. And so some of my other label mates included, I think their names are PDA, Stamps, Tommy and the High Pilots, Felix and Lions might have been included in that roster, I don't know. When I think about this time period, a lot of the songs included on this particular album, they were written when I was frequenting a lot of open mics, and I had just broken up with my then high school band, which had become a college band by this point. We were all college age, and so we were all living in different towns, and it felt like, understandably, different individuals have different aspirations in life. For me, it was, I wanted to really go after the music thing. And so it felt optimal that I could cover more ground if I'm just by myself. I don't have to coordinate with other people's schedules and whatnot. So then came this challenge of, okay, I am performing material by myself. I'm not really much of a guitarist, and I'm not trying to be like fake modest, like I'm really just a rhythm guitarist. And when I think about the instruments that I play, guitar and piano, it's as if I just wanted to learn enough of these instruments so that they could provide me the backing for me to express myself through songs. I think I was a lot more passionate about the lyrical process, or maybe the songwriting process as a whole. I was making music from the perspective of a music fan, a music lover, just somebody that is yearning to hear something maybe out of left field that I would not hear on like FM radio stations. I think I'm already alluding to independent music, indie music. A lot of the influences on this particular album would include Pixies. It's a band that started in the 80s, indie rock band, legendary indie rock band. And then another legendary indie rock band from the 90s called Pavement. They were a heavy influence on this as well. Rest in peace to my friend Conrad Salvador. He really got me into Pavement. So one advantage that I felt I would have as a solo performer is if it's just me and the guitar, then the audience can actually hear the lyrics that I'm singing. Whereas usually if you're in a local live band, performing at a local show, it's very rare that a lot of people can actually discern what you're singing. One thing that plays in my mind all the time as a creative person, or someone who's trying to be creative at least, I think about this documentary on Bob Dylan, who was also a huge influence on this album as well, in his own way. There was the first Scorsese documentary on Bob Dylan called, I think it was called No Direction Home. And one of his painter friends said that art back in those days was not dollar driven, or at least the definition of success was not dollar driven. It was whether or not the artist had something to say. And to go on, the artist would say, oh, I'm going to see so-and-so perform at blah, blah, blah. And they would say, oh, does that artist have something to say? What do they have to say? For me, I think what I wanted to do is I wanted to try to say something unique, that's nearly impossible to accomplish. Or at least try to say something in a unique way which is also nearly impossible to accomplish. However, for example, um, this album opens and closes with songs about my band breaking up. There's not a lot of songs about bands breaking up. There's a lot of songs about romantic breakups, you know. Another song on this album called Anchor Babe Stalker. Do I actually stalk Anchor Babes? No, I do not. But yeah, it was inspired by a local anchor lady named Lucy Noland. She has moved to different cities, as I have actually been stalking her. No, I'm just kidding. No, but of course, this song is from the perspective of someone who is just absolutely obsessed with an anchor lady. Fratford Bradford '06, that is a song inspired by fratty high school wannabe culture, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. Druggy Love. That song was inspired by a time that this girl asked if I did hardcore drugs, which I thought was weird. Give albums a chance. This is a song that is about, hey, you should listen to albums from start to finish. I don't hear a lot of songs that express that really. Worst intermission ever is an actual phone call that I had with my mother. Lactose intolerance. I have not heard a lot of songs about lactose intolerance. I will be very frank with you. I think there should be a lot more songs about it. 31. This was a song that was actually, so the math is kind of off in the lyrics here because, as I stated earlier, I was going to release this in 2010, but instead I released it in 2009. However, I want to say I wrote 31 when I was in high school. I would have written it maybe, I think, junior year of high school. I think we were going into senior year of high school probably. That might have been it. But anyway, so yeah, it was originally called 26. And so yeah, that song has been a long time coming, and it was a hypothetical song. I did not actually, I was not romantically involved with an older lady, but I thought that's a funny concept. Let me explore that, without a MySpace. This is a song, of course, about the premier classic social media website, MySpace. Ringtone is a song about, obviously, ringtones. Of course, there's a famous meme that has gone around about how, people used to show off what their ringtones were. Nowadays, most people want their phones on silent because they don't want to be bothered anymore. Junior high emo. So I think I was trying to mock the emo music of that day. So yeah, I did the album art for this as well. And I just had a bunch of matte pencils and drew the best that I could. So yeah, worst debut album ever. My first baby.